Good afternoon. Welcome to our Friday family crafting. Excuse me. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me live, thank you and welcome. And if you're joining me on replay, thank you. Feel free to add any comments, and obviously if it's on replay I will catch up with you later. So it's an extremely blustery day here today, as I suspect it is for most of you if you're in the UK, being affected by Storm Ellen. So let us see. I have no idea why my video is not coming up. Hopefully it will soon. I'll just refresh. So our Friday crafting session is always one that I try and incorporate for the family. So something you could do as a family, or you could take with you. Hi Katie, thanks for joining us. And it literally arrived, I was out this morning and it arrived in my lovely UPS box this afternoon. So I thought, let's open it and do some crafting straight from the box. So I have got my windows shut, so we shouldn't get too much interference from the wind. So this is called Paper Pumpkin. It's still from Stampin Up, and it is in kit form in America that you can subscribe to and get a kit each month through your letterbox for the equivalent of sort of £20, £25. And we've requested it over here in Europe quite a few times, and what Stampin' Up have arranged to do is release some of these over worldwide as well as in just America. And this is the one for now, and then we do have another Christmas one coming up. So this complete kit is a fixed price of £20, and it comes, as you can see, in a box, and it's called A Box of Sunshine. One of the ideas with this particular box is that when you get the box and you've made the cards, for example, you can reuse the outer box. There's even a label you can put on it to address it, and send some sunshine to somebody else. And ideally, if you can choose some items that are yellow, then that is all in keeping with the title, Box of Sunshine. But it could just be cards, it could be chocolates, it could be whatever you want it to be. So the whole idea is to gift something on to somebody else. So I'm just going to open this up. Hi Jen. I hope the school preparations are going well for you. So here we have it, a nice sturdy box. Let's get rid of that wrapping. So I've not seen what's inside it other than a few photos, so we'll do this together. Okay. So here we have it. So the brand name that they use is Paper Pumpkin. Okay, nothing to do with pumpkins. So we have, first of all, a stamp set. And the stamp set has the words sunshine, you are loved, sending, hello, smile, a little something to brighten your day. There's a stamp of a sun, and then these sort of dots and dashes. Okay, so that's included. We have a basic black ink pad. The only thing you don't get with this kit that you might normally do from a Stampin' Up kit is a block to put the stamps on. Okay, so if you're an existing crafter, you will probably have an acrylic block. If you're not, have a hunt around the house. I'm sure you will find something that you could use. For example, although this is not the best example, but just seeing this here, even if you just had a plastic, this is just a plastic lid, so if you had a flatter, smaller one of these, this is a little bit extreme, but you could effectively put the stamp onto there, except that's not sticky, onto there and stamp with it, as long as you're on the highest point of the piece of plastic. So you can easily improvise. You could use the cover of your phone, a coaster. Ideally you want it see-through so you can see what you're doing. A ruler is always a good option. So here's a ruler here, especially if you've got a flat one, not a beveled edge. And I appreciate it's got lots of letters on it, but so you could use the ruler and stamp with that. And what you could be quite clever is use that, and you've got automatic lining up as well. So that's the only thing that you would need to provide. Okay, so those are the stamps. And then it says here, this is Sarah Douglas, so she's the CEO of Stampin' Up Worldwide. And it says here, this kit is here to help you share sunshine. Once you've made all the cards, use any leftover pieces to decorate the box. Fill it with yellow goodies. Add the included label. Address it to someone and brighten their life with a little sunshine. Okay. And then if you want to make more little sunshine kits, you can buy our little paper pumpkin boxes as well. Okay, so as you can see, this is all very bright sun coloured. So this is Mango Melody tissue paper, and I'll be keeping that because that's rather nice, isn't it? And use it to wrap something else up in. Okay, so let's open this up. Okay, so I'm going to pop the kit out. So this is all sealed up, ready. If I can get it out without knocking everything. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the box away. Fold this back down so it's ready for sending, like so. Okay. Right, so this is our kit in here, and it does have directions which are written and photographic. So I'm just opening this piece up. Obviously, if you're doing what I'm doing with a pair of scissors, be careful you don't score into your cards. Be more sensible to do it on the back or something. Okay. So the nice thing is, if you're going on holiday, you could take this box with you, pop a block in, perhaps a pair of scissors to open it with, and you're good to go. So we have some dimensionals for attaching the pieces. We have some faceted sequins, and these are on little glue dots, so they're self-adhesive, ready to go. We then have the envelopes. Look at these fab envelopes. So they're gold embossed. That's the front. Okay. So there's 8 of those. So this kit will make 8 cards. Like so, and these are really nice quality as well. Okay, and then we have, so these are die cuts. So we have 5 sheets of these, and each sheet has 2 lemons, a sun, a funky pineapple, and some leaves. Okay, so you get a whole stash of those, so I think you will have some left over. Then we have some sheets of self-adhesive die cuts. So these are black with white dots, and they're already sticky on the reverse, so you don't need any glue. And you've got some larger ones, and then you've got some smaller panels. I'm not sure you can see that. I just peel this one back, so you've got some separate panels. So the nice thing about all of these kits is that you can do your own thing entirely. Hi Jane. Or if you want, you can follow the instructions that Stampin' Up give you. And what I tend to find, what most people will do, is they might do one of each card as Stampin' Up intended, and then do their own thing for the remaining cards. So you can embellish them more, you can add more detail, or you can just split the contents and make more cards. These are the cards themselves here. So we have 2 with these lovely gold stripes, 2 with this stunning watercolour effect, looks like you've made it yourself, 2 with the sunburst, and then 2 with the Daffodil Delight yellow. So you can see the colour, so we've got gold, orange and yellow as the colour theme. And then in addition we have some little glue dots, and then some banners here for stamping our sentiments in different shapes. And then I know that this one is for the label for the box. So when you've finished, you can decorate the box, literally peel the label off and put it onto there, and then send it on to somebody else. I'm actually going to stamp on that before I send it on, but I just think it's a lovely idea. So let us have a look at the details of the cards that you can make. So I'm not sure how clear that will be because they're quite small pictures. Hi Scylla. We've got one here with the stripes and the pineapple. We've got the sunburst. We've got the lemons on the lemon piece. And then we've got Sending Sunshine stamped on the orange and lemon piece of card. So there are instructions here. It tells you everything that is included, and it shows you here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's got each of the separate elements on what to do. Their recommendation is that you stamp all of the sentiments to start with. Now if you're doing all of the cards in accordance with the set, then I would do the same, but what I would be tempted to do is do the sentiments actually last when you've decided which sentiment you want on which card. So the ones that you could stamp are Sending Sunshine or Hello Sunshine, A Little Something to Brighten Your Day, You Are Loved, Hello on its own, and Smile on its own. So their recommendation is to stamp the sentiment first. My personal recommendation would be to stamp the sentiments later, but I would leave the sentiments on their sheet to start with. That will keep them nice, crisp and flat. If you pick all of these out, it's fine, but there's more chance you'll drop one on the floor or get ink on it or something, or it'll go missing. So my recommendation always for the sentiments is to leave them on the sheet. Okay, with the die cuts, you could quite easily remove those and store them in a little bag, for example. And these just literally gently pull out like so, and they're beautiful quality. Okay, shall we do some crafting? Hi Scylla, I wonder if anybody else watching here has got the kit. I'm just going to take a little drink of coffee, so excuse me for a minute. Scylla, have you bought the kit yet, I wonder? Or Jane? Or Jen? I do like the sentiments, and of course even when you finish the cards you will still have the stamp set. You'll have some of these left over, I'm sure, and you'll have the ink pad. So it does mean you can go on to make tags, especially. That's nice and quick. You could even stamp on these and make them into tags, just writing on the reverse if you wanted to. Scylla says no, not yet. Okay. Right, let us see. So, let's do this one top left first. So let me find the components and put the other components out of the way so I don't make a mess. So this is the card, and then we've got a sentiment in that shape. We're stamping that, and then we've got one of the black and white dotty borders. So let's move these out of the way. This would be a great weekend project, especially for a rainy day, or if you were stuck inside, or you had young visitors coming. It's, you know, quite an easy kit to use and recommended, you know, to do it as a family. So let's put the basic components together, and I'm going to do the sentiment at the end. So looking at this, I've just got some of my grid paper underneath. I hope that's a good position. Hi Carol with an E. Thank you for joining us. So we're sending sunshine today, and I'm going to start with this stamp, because what they've got, if you can see this okay, is they've got the dots and then the piece of dotty paper and then the sun above it. So what I might do is actually put the dotty paper down first. So this is self-adhesive, so it's going to stick wherever I put it, and I'm going to have it just slightly high of centre and just positioning it like so. And I'm going to do that so that when I stamp these dots I've got a line to use. So this dot and dash is great for men's cards because it's sort of nondescript. That sounds awful, because it's nondescript, but you know, it's not flowers, let's put it that way. Oh, that's okay Carol, I was only doing an introduction to the kit. That's a very filthy block. I do apologise. That's something I have to do this weekend, is clean my blocks. So apologise for the state of that. Okay, let me just see if I've got that anything like straight to the block. Not bad. Okay, so to open the ink pads, you want to, I find it easier to use the scissors, but obviously be careful. Don't want any accidents happening. I find it easier to score the paper first, and then you can open that up. And then I do like, oops, to separate the lid from the base. Otherwise I find it flaps around and gets in the way. So I'm going to ink this up. So this is basic black ink, and because it's the first time this stamp has been used, I am going to stamp it off first. I could have just wiped it down, actually would have helped, but just to take off any residue that's on the stamp. So I'm going to stamp that there just to test it out, and it's always worth, yeah, so can you see the ink hasn't taken to the stamp very well, it's sort of stuck on the stamp rather than being transferred. So just going to give that a good wipe. I'm using my chamois, but you could just use a slightly damp cloth. Don't recommend you use baby wipes or anything like that, because the fibres from the baby wipes can stick to the stamp. Let's give this a second go. Okay, so it does take a bit longer with a small ink pad. Obviously, if you're a crafter, you may well already have a black ink pad or something similar. Occasionally, with the ink pads, because they're very small, they can dry out. So if you ever buy a kit through me and the ink pad isn't very inky anymore, then just let me know and I can get that filled or replaced for you. Okay, it's a little bit better. It's still quite light though, although it's only going to be tucked underneath. So how is everybody doing? Carol, have you had a good week? Carol with an E. You're the only Carol here. And Scylla and Katie, have you all had a good week? Okay, let's give that a go on here. So I'm just positioning it slightly below the die cut and sort of centrally. There we go, see, that's better. Okay, and according to the photograph here, they've stamped that little sun up here. I think they put theirs lower down than mine. Just going to lift this up so I can see easier. So this is quite a fine stamp. So each of those pieces are little triangles going around a centre circle. Like so. And I'm actually going to have it slightly overlapping here. So I'm not worrying too much because my sentiment is going to go over the top. If I have got a little gap, oh, I should have stamped it off, never mind. If I have got a little gap, it won't matter too much. Okay, and then we're going to add our sentiment. So we've got Sending Sunshine as their suggestion, and that is going to go on one of these here. So I'm going to move this out of the way, going to leave that in there, find my stamp set, and they've got sunshine and sending. So these are two separate stamps, and even though I have two, I do tend to stamp them separately. And I think what I'm going to do is put Sunshine on first, and then there's just enough space for my sending. As I say, I apologise for the state of my blocks. Let's find a small one for sending, like so. Oh, so Cal's had a good week, despite the rain. Practicing making cards. Oh, that's okay, good girl. Oh, Scylla. I feel for Dave. Sciatica's a horrible thing to have. Does he get that very often, I wonder? Not nice. And well done, Carol. If you've been doing some card making, that's excellent. I'm just conditioning this stamp, as you can see. See the difference between the first stamping and the re-inked stamp. Yeah, that's much better. And I'm going to scrub the Sunshine one first. See if that makes a difference. So I'm just going to do a light ink coverage first. Because I know this will be the light one. That's very light, isn't it? Hi, Molly. Oh, Katie's bought a stamping platform. Excellent, Katie. You're gonna, has that arrived yet, or are you waiting for that to arrive? Stamping platforms are so good. I love our stamper artists. You've seen me use it, no doubt. Right. Let's have a look at that. I'm worried that it's not very dark. And you know why that is, because I'm used to my early espresso. Okay, let's have a look. I still think this might be too light, but let us see. So I'm doing Sunshine right down at the bottom of that die cut. There we go. Yes, it's not very deep, is it? Let me add a little bit of black ink. So shouldn't need to do this straight away, I have to say, but what I will do is, if anybody orders one through me, is I will check the ink pad. If you don't mind me opening it up beforehand, I will check the ink pad before sending it out. Let's have a look at that. Looks a bit better. I can see it shining. Now let me see if I can get it straight on top. Always a risk, but it's worth a go. It's only a piece of card, isn't it? There we go. And sending is going to go in there. like so. Okay. So, make sure I haven't missed anything. So no, so this is going to go up on dimensionals, and then we're just going to add some of the sequins for some detail. So oops, these are dimensionals here. So I think I'm going to do one on each side and one top and bottom. Oh, no walks. Oh, gosh. Nasty. Oh, that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a stamp positioning tool then, and it does the job, that's absolutely fine. I know there are quite a few out on the market. Okay. So I've got my Sending Sunshine. Fold that over. So the cards are already scored ready for you. And then I'm just going to add a bit of bling. So these are orange faceted full sequins, and I think I'm going to put one large one. So they've got glue dots on the back ready. Here. And two little ones up here. There we go. So there is card number 1. Right, let's have a look at the next one. So this one here uses the sunburst card and the sun, but in my mind it seems a shame to cover it up. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. Because you've got this lovely gold foil, I'm just going to wipe my hands. I think I've got black ink on me, and I don't want to be transferring that like I did. Was that yesterday, Carol? Or was it the day before? I don't know, but you rescued me, didn't you? Right, that's my hands cleaner. Okay, so for this card they've got the sunburst, a strip of the black again. So these strips are all the same size, and they've got that sort of part the way across, like so. And of course you can absolutely do your own thing, no problem in the slightest. And they've got that die cut, you find it here, this one going over there, and then a banner. I think I quite like it, seeing all of that. What do you think? They've got a thin banner. It just seems a shame to cover it up, although it is rather a nice sun, isn't it? What do you reckon? Oh, Wednesday was... I've lost track. I think you're right, actually. I think it was Wednesday. Yes, I like the I like all of the kits, but for different reasons. So what do you think, with or without that die cut? That's without. Okay, I'm going to stamp this anyway while we're deliberating. I suppose if I'm doing one of as is, I should do one with, shouldn't I? And hello, they've put on there. Take my sending off from there. Just rub this down. I'm going to ink this up and then stamp it again. It's still wild, for sure. There we go. And so they put the hello sort of right over to the edge here. So what do we reckon? With the sun or like that? Without first then. Now, I shouldn't have done it so far over, should I? Well, I said I would do one as is, so that's what I shall do. So I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. Just to stick to my brief, really. And then I'll do some other samples over the weekend and share them with you next week. And I've still got a stack of prize peony designs to do. So I'm afraid my stamp set of the week is going to carry over onto next week. Okay, so let's pop that on there. Just going to press it lightly. Yeah, that's perfect. And then what I'm going to do is just put dimensionals on the top end of my sun, because I don't want it to lift up on the bottom. And I might just add a little bit of glue. Or you could use glue dots. I happen to have my seal to hand, so I'm just going to use that. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Like so. And then also add some bling to that, so they've sort of dotted it around. So let's do the same. Going to use, whoops. One and a large one. I'm going to mirror that down here like so, and then put a little one in there. There we go. So that is card number 2. do like that one, I have to say. I think that is quite stunning in its own right. There's the first one, second one, and then we've got this one with the lemons. This looks like fun, doesn't it? So let's find the lemon. So that's the watercolour backing, and then from that same die cut sheet I've got 2 lemons and then the 2 sets of leaves, like so, and that leaves the pineapple for the last one. And that means once I've used that for the next set, you've still got all of those left over, so you can obviously do a lot more because you make 2 cards out of each of these bases. Each one makes 2. Okay, so we get a large piece of dotty, and obviously if you don't want to cover this up, you don't have to. As I say, I'm going to be good and do it as they've done it. You could easily change the orientation as well and have this one that way up if you wanted in landscape. Okay, so what I'm going to do is tuck these just behind, and I'm going to use these funky little glue dots for that. Now I should know which way around that lemon goes, but I'm not sure it's critical. So there's one, like so, and I'm going to do the same with this one, and I'm going to turn this one round so that when I put the 2 lemons together, you've got sort of difference here. Scissors says with, Katie says without. Oh, I see, that was for the last one. That was for my son, was that? There's also a really long delay today. There we go. Let's do like that. And just going to position these 2, so I'm just going to have a look and see. They've sort of got them over to the right, but I quite like, I think, something like that. And then they've got the sentiment over the top of that. So I'm going to pop this one down flat. Just going to use some seal. Actually, I will put a little bit on the top as well, just to make sure. Oops. I'll just do that again. Difficult when it's a small area. So I don't want my leaves falling off. I have one that way, and then this one I'm going to pop up with dimensionals. So I wonder what you ladies have planned, if anything, for the weekend, whether you're at home crafting or whether you're out and about. I'm preparing my class in a box That's the other things that arrived with these paper pumpkin boxes. So that's my weekend sorted. It's quite therapeutic really. I start off with a nice clean table and everything in the box next to it, and then gradually it gets messier and messier until they're all done. There we go. So there's my 2 lemons, and they've put a little something to brighten your day as their sentiment. There we go. Let's move these out of the way. Find the die cuts. Going to swap these over. I don't know if you can hear the wind against the window. I keep thinking it's passed over and then it comes back again. Okay, I'm going to ink this and then ink it again, because I know it will need 2 levels of inking. So I say, if you do get one of the ready-made boxes, so Paper Pumpkin or our all-inclusive kits, and for any reason the ink pad is too light, just let me know and I can sort that for you. There we go. So it does make a difference if you ink up the stamp before you come to use it properly on the card, and give it a good wipe first. There we go. A little something to brighten your day. And they've added that onto this one here. Obviously you could also use your own sentiments entirely if you wanted to, or stamp the sentiments onto something different. There we go. If you were doing them all as they wanted, then you could stamp, a couple of these ready. There we go. And they had theirs over there. They had theirs quite high up, but I think maybe just there. I don't want to cover up the lemon too much. So I'm going to put one of those at the bottom and some glue at the top. Well, I'm just going to use snail actually. Not snail, seal. Get it right. When you've used it for so long, you tend to forget. So I think something like that. There we go. And then we could add a little bit of bling. Why not? Put one in there. And these are sort of iridescent, so if you can see, they sort of pick up the light. And there. And one there. There we go. So I've got 3 in total. Everybody's very quiet this afternoon. Are you all asleep? Normally there's a lot of chatter going on. Perhaps there's something better happening. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then the last of the 4 cards is the one with the pineapple and the fab stripes. So here's that lovely gold stripe, and the card is nice and thick card as well. And they're white inside, so they're all ready for writing. There we go. And then pineapple. There we go. And obviously you could use this as a stencil for leaves. This is a stencil for lemons, and you could use this as a stencil by sponging through it, either as a sun or a flower. Slightly not as obvious that that is a pineapple if you just look at the shape, but I'm sure somebody would be able to do something with it. Okay, so that's going to go onto there. I think I'm going to do that flat. Like so. And then they've got a black strip across. Here. And I'm just positioning mine actually within the sort of gold piece. And then a sentiment on top. I'll just add these while I'm here, and then add a sentiment. So you want even numbers, odd numbers of these even. 1, 2, 3, like so. And then they've got "You Are Loved" in a long thin banner, just here. I think I'm going to do, smile doesn't quite fit on there. Doesn't quite fit. I will do it as is. Unless I can think of, I've got a thanks just here. That might just fit. I'm going to try it. Let's have a look, see. So the way to test it out, there's an easy way, which is take your slot from your die cut and position it over your stamp. And if it fits in, you know it will fit. And it fits just. So let's have a look, see. So one thing I would do with the little ink pads is store them upside down. So our normal sized ink pads automatically store the ink upside down, but these little felt pads, obviously if you store them like this, the ink will drop down to the bottom. So I would always recommend storing these upside down. Right, let's see if this will fit. Don't know how straight I've got it on the stamp, but the spare ones of those, so we're good. Ooh. There we go. little bit close, a bit too far to one side, but I won't worry about that on Julie. And then you can either have this lifted up slightly, you can have it straight on there. I think what I'm going to do is have it up and slightly high to the right with some dimensionals on, and maybe add a bit of bling onto that. Hi Minda, hi Anne. Just watching me, thank you. So Minda and Anne, we're playing with the paper pumpkin kit called A Box of Sunshine. It's very sweet. Like so. And then I'm going to put maybe 2 little embellishments on there to balance out the fact that I started it further over. Like so. There we go. So that is the 4th of 4 cards. So let me show you them, and then I can show you what we have left. So we have the 4 cards. Let me move those instructions out of the way. So we have the one with the pineapple, Sending Sunshine. We have Hello with the sunshine, and then we have A Little Something to Brighten Your Day. So those are the 4 cards, and you could make another 4 of those. And then we've still got 4 of these and 3 of those. To make those cards up again, you just need 1 of these sheets. So you've got another 2 that you can use to decorate the envelopes with. We've got 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you've got another 2 of the black strips left over, plus another complete sheet. And another sheet of those. So there is plenty to play with. These are the envelopes, so you could afford to decorate the envelopes as well if you wanted to with the die cuts. Okay, and then, as I said right at the beginning, you have a self-adhesive label and some smaller designs. So when you've finished, and also you've got 4 cards left over, you can take the box, you can take the sticky label, pop that onto there, add some of the lemons or whatever you would like, and then just seal it and pop it in the post. Ideally, fill it with something nice, either something yellow or just something nice that you'd like to give to somebody else. Plus you have the stamps left. So the stamps that we had, A Little Something to Brighten Your Day, I like that one. Sending, you've got Smile, Hello, You Are Loved, Sunshine, you've got the little sun, and you've got this dotty pattern there. And you'll also have left over dimensionals, glue dots, and depending on how many of these you've used, you'll have the sequins as well. So I think that's a great value kit. £20. You get 8 cards and envelopes provided to make up those designs, plus you have almost the same amount of die cuts left over. So all you need to do is use some note cards and envelopes, stamp them up, add the die cuts, and away you go. Or you could make those into tags if you wanted to. So there we go. Hi Jeanette. So thank you for joining me for my paper pumpkin. So as I say, great for families, great to have in stock if you end up on a rainy day, or hopefully not, but you know, if you were stuck in hospital for a length of time, you could just literally pop the box in your bag. The only thing you would need would be a block of some kind, but you could improvise, I'm sure, on that. Comes with the ink, comes with the stamps. You don't even need scissors for this, apart from opening the pack. So Paper Pumpkin Kit is £20. It's available in the UK while stocks last. We haven't been given any indication that they're running out. You can also buy this in French and in German. So if you have friends that are in France or Germany or speak those languages, then everything else is the same, but the stamp set wording would be in French or German. So if it's of interest, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It is a nice to give to a friend, and also to, you know, families, or if you've got somebody who doesn't really know where to start, as you say, it gets them a starting point. So thank you so much for joining me. I might pop on over the weekend with some more cards from the the name's gone out of my head now. Not posies, peonies. Prized peony set, because I've got at least 2 other designs I want to do. So you might see me over the weekend. If you don't, then I'll be back on Monday at 10 AM for our Monday morning coffee and card session. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you stay safe. I hope you can have a nice weekend. Stay out of the wind. Look after each other. Look after yourselves. And I do hope you're able to keep crafting. Any questions or queries on what I've shown you, if you need me to run through anything, you can obviously play back this video within a few minutes, or you can message or comment or email me for further information. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Carol. I appreciate you joining me. Thank you, Jeanette, Minda, and Scylla. Katie, who is the first online, and obviously Carol with an E. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.